After the deaths of Goku and Gohan at Vegeta's hands, and with the Dragon Balls unavailable, everyone faces eternal entrapment in the other world. Frieza, who wanted to discover potential Saiyan warriors elsewhere in the universe, initiated a relentless search. Meanwhile, Vegeta, having recovered in the healing chamber, returned to Earth with intentions to conquer it, only to meet his demise at the hands of Android 19. Frieza's ongoing quest eventually led his soldiers to discover planet Vampa, where Paragus and Broly were found and recruited into the Frieza Force. Recognizing their potential, Frieza dispatches Paragus and Broly to Earth to investigate Vegeta's sudden demise. On Earth, Broly single-handedly annihilates Android 19. However, as Paragus and Broly split up to cover more ground, tragedy struck suddenly as Android 14 swiftly eliminates Paragus without raising any alarm. Unaware of his father's fate, Broly continued his devastating rampage across the planet. Soon, Broly found himself ambushed by androids 14 and 15, aided by Dr. Gero himself. Utilizing potent sleeping gas, Gero manages to incapacitate Broly, overcoming the immensely powerful Saiyan, and seizing the opportunity, absorbing Broly's energy, significantly enhancing his own power. Meanwhile, Frieza, alerted to the developments on Earth, began his journey towards the planet as well. How will the rest of this story unfold? Well, these are questions we will answer today on Dragon Ball Z. Upon reaching the outskirts of Earth, Frieza deployed his forces, with Dodaro and Zarbon at the forefront of the invasion. The ruthless Frieza force swept through the cities, sending Earth's citizens fleeing in terror. Hours passed, but Dodaro and Zarbon returned to Frieza with unsettling news. They found no one of note and detected no significant power levels on their scouters. Frieza, renowned for his suspicion, narrowed his eyes at the possibility of a trap. Despite the uncertainty, Frieza's confidence in his own abilities remained unshaken. He decided to descend to Earth himself, determined to confront whatever awaited him, convinced that no force could stand against him. Gero, monitoring through his spyboard, suddenly nods to Android 14. Frieza had indeed taken the bait, allowing their plans to proceed without interruption. As Frieza continued to oversee the destruction of Earth, confusion gnawed at him. The past few times, any formidable adversary, be it Vegeta, Broly or Paragus, when they visited Earth would meet their end fairly quickly. Yet this time, the unknown assailant remained hidden and inactive, defying Frieza's expectations. Alone outside his ship for many hours, Frieza's vigilance waned, precisely as Gero had anticipated. It was the moment Gero had been waiting for. Frieza vulnerable and caught off guard. Suddenly, a pair of metallic arms seized Frieza from behind, one hand covering his mouth to prevent any outcry. Frieza struggled against the iron grip of the metallic assailant, feeling his energy drained with each futile attempt to break free. In a desperate moment, an idea sparked in his mind. With swift determination, Frieza initiated his transformation, shifting into his second form. The alteration allowed him to contort his body and slip from the robot's grasp. As he continued his transformation into his final most powerful form, Frieza couldn't deny the fear that gripped him at the thought of nearly meeting his end in a metallic grip. Regaining his composure, Frieza let out a sigh of relief. The encounter had cost him nearly a quarter of his energy, emphasizing the threat posed by this formidable foe. Frieza urgently called through his scouter for Zarbon and Dodaro to return with the army, but his plea was met with unsettling silence. It dawned on Frieza that the robot was not acting alone. It was likely that the rest of his army had perished. Frieza's face contorted in grim determination. This was no time for games. With a surge of power, Frieza transformed into his full power state, his energy soaring to over 100 million. However, Dr. Gero remained motionless, unfazed by Frieza's display of power. Frieza roared in fury and charged towards Dr. Gero, but in a sudden blur, Dr. Gero vanishes. Frieza spun around, scanning for his elusive opponent, only to find Gero behind him once more, enveloping him in a tight embrace. Frieza struggles desperately, trying to shake off Gero, but the scientist's strength far surpassed anything Frieza could comprehend. Gero drained Frieza's life force relentlessly, sucking away every last bit of his energy. In less than 10 seconds, Frieza's once formidable energy was completely depleted. He collapses to the ground, now nothing more than a lifeless husk. Androids 14 and 15 returned to Gero, acknowledging their success in completing their mission. Behind them lay a scene of utter devastation, the city in ruins, strewn with the bodies of Frieza soldiers. The entire Frieza army had been decimated by these two androids. With Frieza now dealt with, Dr. Gero mistakenly believed that the conquest of Earth had concluded, assuming there was no higher authority than Frieza in this chain of command. Confident in his plans, Gero began laying the groundwork for his own rule over planet Earth. Unbeknownst to Gero, King Cold and the elite Ginyu Force were en route to Earth after learning of Frieza's potential demise. As they arrived, Gero, who initially reacted with surprise, quickly composes himself, dismissing them as buffoons who will prove even easier to handle than Frieza. King Cold and the Ginyu Force made their entrance into a city where, to their astonishment, the civilians greeted them with calm acceptance. This stark contrast puzzled King Cold. According to previous reports from Frieza's scouter, the civilians had shown hostility towards Frieza. Now, their demeanor had completely shifted, and they treated them to fine food and comfortable accommodations. Despite initial wariness, King Cold was surprised by their hospitality. However, in the dead of night, King Cold sensed danger as the door to his room creaked open slowly. King Cold tenses ready for anything, but suddenly felt himself being really tired and exhausted. Confusion gripped him as King Cold collapses to the ground, unable to identify the source of the attack. It was none other than Dr. Gero who had quietly entered the room. Gero revealed that the entire house where King Cold stayed was designed as an energy harvester, secretly siphoning King Cold's energy all along. Gero explained that while such an elaborate scheme wasn't necessary, he had orchestrated it to access the capabilities of his subordinates. After successfully subjugating Earth, Dr. Gero implemented a chilling strategy. He converted every civilian into a red ribbon army robot under his absolute control. If violence erupted, Gero would personally intervene. If not, the robot civilians would execute his orders. The Ginyu Force, just like King Cold, fell victim to Gero's scheme. With the entire Frieza family eradicated, Earth remained undisturbed for many years to come. There wouldn't be a Cell arc, because Cell was never created by Gero. Babidi wouldn't choose Earth as a destination to harvest Buu's energy, because the planet had a drastically reduced energy signature, because there were only a few scattered survivors amidst the now silent robot-dominated world. The absence of any alive Saiyans meant that Beerus only had a friendly spar with Goku on King Kai's planet, an encounter that led to nothing significant. Frieza's army, though not entirely wiped out, steered clear of Earth, haunted by the tales of Frieza and King Cold's demise. Without Goku and Vegeta, the Universe 6 tournament never materialized. This absence had ripple effects. Zamasu harbored resentment towards mortals, but without seeing Goku or the Super Dragon Balls through God Tube, he lacked the means to carry out his evil plans. Furthermore, Goku's friendship with Zeno, crucial for organizing the Universal Survival Tournament, never happened. Consequently, Zeno went on to erase Universes 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 9, 10, and 11 without hesitation, altering the fate of countless beings across the multiverse. Just like that, with Universe 7 erased, this series reaches its conclusion. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next one.